You're now tuned into the 411 podcast and reading between the wines, where everyday conversations lead to financial awareness. Powered by the Black Diamond Consultations Network. More than a podcast, this is a sanctuary for self-discovery, healing, and personal growth. Here, we explore what it means to live debt-free. Not just financially, but spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Every episode is a part of a journey across our weekly mentorship series. Spiritual Sundays, Mental Mondays, Transformational Tuesdays, Wind Down Wednesdays, Coaching Sessions Thursdays, and Financial Fridays. Each day holds space for wisdom, clarity, and real conversations. So grab your journal, pour your glass, and prepare to go beyond the surface. Deep inside, we don't just talk, we transform lives. And now, here's your guide through it all. Entrepreneur, mentor, and financial coach, Laren Gaines.
Welcome, welcome, welcome on in, everybody. Welcome into another episode of Reading Between the Wines. We are on episode 34. The money wasn't missing. I was. So we getting ready to go there tonight. We're going to speak about basically emotional escapes and how they can disguise themselves as financial opportunities. It's so mystical that we will be speaking about what happens when you take too many risky adventures, such as gambling. I was having a conversation recently with someone about gambling addictions. So mystical how we are actually coming full circle with this. But before we get into tonight's episode, I want to give a very special thank you. I must say, a very special thank you to each and every one of you out there listening. Good morning to you out there on Facebook. I see you in the morning. I appreciate you. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you so much to YouTube. Thank you so much to Daily Motion. Thank you to the few listeners that we have out there on Kick and Twitch. I appreciate that as well. So thank you all so much for joining in. I appreciate you. The best thing that you can do is please like. Thank you for the comments out there. I see you. What's up, Miss SOS? How are you doing? Thank you so much. Definitely want to go ahead and give you a shout out as well. But the best thing you can do is to please like, comment, subscribe, share, tag, text a friend, invite people into the 411 podcast and reading between the wines, because you never know what you're going to get out of these conversations, where everyday conversations lead to financial awareness. We start on one place and we end in another. And I also have to give a very special thank you to my executive producer. I want to thank God for giving me the strength, the courage, the wisdom, the understanding to continuously keep pushing on and striving to make it be the best that it could possibly be. Without you, none of this would be possible. Now, we're going to get into it tonight. I would say that it's like officially summer, even though it's in a couple more days. It'll be officially summer. So it's summer. I want to let you know that I have officially crossed over from the red wine to the white wine. But there are some times when there's some exceptions, and tonight is the exception. And in the summertime, you have to have that good old sangria. So I was searching, still looking for that grapefruit wine. I'm gonna keep searching summer, all summer until we come to a head with this. But I have found that bottle of wine one time, and now that it's summer, and now that I want to actually sample it and try it, I can't find it. So as I was searching and looking, I came across Barefoot Sangria. Now, I don't know if I've ever tried this. Maybe I have. I can't remember. It wasn't that memorable if it was the case. But this is just straight up Barefoot Sangria, and we're going to get in tonight as well. And yeah, it's much overdue. So, welcome on in. Thank y'all so much for joining, and let's get on into this. Song of the day, Still Believe in Love, by my favorite artist, the woman who has built the soundtrack of my life, the queen of hip hop soul, Miss Mary J. Blige. Now, y'all know that it's some real it's some real stuff when I bring Mary to the table. Still Believe in Love, 2003. Not 2003, 2023. Still Believe in Love. This was a single, and the question that I have, because you know I'm gonna remix it, is do you still believe? What do you believe in? See, if you believe, you got to believe in something real. And I still believe in love. Love is real. Love is God. And I believe. I believe in God. I'm thankful that I'm still here. I still believe in myself. And He is giving me everything that I have so that I can continuously believe in myself. You know, it's been a journey since 2020. And just as I take a few steps forward, sometimes it felt as if I had taken several steps backwards. See, the enemy saw that I changed and made a shift in 2020. And that made him very angry because he thought that he had me. He captivated my mind and had it all twisted up in 2013, but I broke free in 2020. And during that process, as me breaking free, he was very upset. And he decided to send people my way and still tries to send people my way. But see, I just think of, and again, last week I was a little on a tired edge and I had to take a little breather and take a little breath and take a little rest and relaxation to continuously get focused and re energized and build up this vitality. But I think about Genesis 50:20. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to spare much people alive. See, I think about my biblical heroes, such as Joseph. You know, Joseph went from the pit to the palace. And it's so interesting in life. Sometimes we go through the same things that some of these biblical characters have gone through. And the blueprint is already laid out for us. And sometimes we don't even know. And I think of Esther as well, what she endured and the decisions that she had to make in order to save a whole nation and get through to the other side. But again, the enemy was very jealous. Enemy was very upset. And sometimes when we are tested and we go through these trials and we go through these tribulations, I don't know who I'm speaking to. I'm only speaking from real life experiences. It is so hard because we're so used to doing things our way. But one thing that I had to learn is be still and know that I am God. I had to be still and let God do what He had to do. And I say to this day, Lord, more of you and less of me, because I already know who I am and I know what I do, and I cannot make it through without you. So please, more of you and less of me. Mm. And then during this trial, like I said, during these tribulations, during these ups, during these peaks, during these valleys, the enemy can get very clever, very cunning, and try to send people your way to throw you off of your game. But there's this powerful word that God has blessed me with, and I'm so thankful. I have a great level of discernment today. And then during this process, I've understood the term Judas kiss, because those people that are just so close to you, they always be the first ones to step up and stick the knife right through you. But I'm so thankful today, and I'm gonna go on another merry record. Listen, I never claimed to be a genius, but I lived long enough to see this. See, you fooled me several times in my lifetime. But yeah, that was young version of me. Today, this is the adult version of me. And I'm good because I still believe. I believe in the Most High. And I know, listen, everything that happens happens for good. What you thought and what you meant for evil, Lord knows that God meant it for good. And see, that's exactly why sometimes we can't get upset when people do things to us. We can't get upset when people try to throw us off track, because guess what? God don't play about his people. See, you got to be very careful about the things that you do and the moves that you make. You never know who you're dealing with. And God don't play about his children. And I still believe. And I still believe. And listen, what you thought was for evil, God meant it for good. And the only thing that you disrespectful, and I'm gonna keep it clean, no good, backbiting, jealous, envious people did to me is just pull me closer to God. And we going in. We going in. And I'm here to spread the good news, and I'm here to spread the good word. And for my brothers and sisters out there, I know y'all might be going through some things. Y'all might be going through the storm. You don't even understand why. You don't even know how. How could people? I used to ask all the time, how could people be so evil? Why would they do something like this to me? I have been nothing but nice, and I have been nothing but me. But you just being you being God-like, that is enough to piss the enemy off. And that is enough to make him go ahead and send these imps, these disrespectful, these fear mongers. They try to throw you off your track. They try to shake you up. Hmm. But see, I fear no man today. Absolutely not, because I know who my father is. And because I know who my father is, therefore he's given me everything to make sure that I know who I am. And I still believe. I believe in myself. I believe in my father. I believe in love because I am love. We here. We here. We up. I want to say thank y'all. Yeah, this was a real one. Get it all amped up, and it is like night and day, because last week I was absolutely just y'all know the record. I was speaking about Kelly Price. I was tired. I was over it. I didn't want to be bothered by anybody. Honestly, just sometimes I just want to go in my little box and I don't want to be bothered. And that's how I was feeling last week, because I can separate the BS from the truth. I have a good level of discernment, and I can see when people mean no good. And just the fact that I have that energy around me, I'm very sensitive to people and their tricky ways, and I'm just over it. But again, I had to go back to the lab. I had to pray. I had to build myself up, because I'm human too, and sometimes I fall short. But I had to, go through it and connect with God, and ask myself, listen, you far to turn around. You're not gonna let evilness overcome. It's impossible, because that is not what God is. There's no way that He's gonna let some evilness destroy and try to shake up what we got going on here. Absolutely not. So I had to like get myself together. So here we are back focusing on this vitality. And I knew that once I named this series and this season vitality, I was going to go through it, because I've been tested ever since I put that name on there, because that's what it's about. It's your energy, it's your life force. And people come after it. They'll try to destroy you. They'll try to bring you down. They'll try to make you less than because they can see your light. They can see it, they can sense it, and they fear it. So, in any case, I'm up. I'm ready to sample this barefoot sangria and get right on into this episode tonight. Ready to speak to my friend, author, poet, Birdman313. But before we get into this, we got this barefoot sangria. It says that it has tasty notes of berries and citrus, and you can enjoy this with some fish tacos or frozen yogurt. That's interesting. And we're going to get into this. This is 11. Let me see what this is 11%. So there will be a day. I'm just putting it out there. There will be a day when I hang up reading between the wines. There will be a day. I don't know when that day will come. Not every episode do I feel like sampling wine. I'm just keeping it real. So when I say that it might end the note where I just hang up the wine portion of it, but we still gonna rock. We'll change it to Wisdom Wednesday. I have to go and pray on that because I've been going back and forth with it. Um, because let's keep it real. I'm not gonna be sampling wine every single week. Some weeks I just don't feel like drinking wine, but I'm here right now, so we good. So 401 podcast, reading between the wines is not going anywhere. But you know, if he puts it on my heart to make some changes, we might just shift the titles and the names and all of that good stuff. But we do have a great thing going on here right now, and some great guests that are coming on the show. So I want to say thank you all so much for that. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for another great episode of Reading Between the Wines because we're gonna go in tonight. So I want to say cheers. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, this is good. This is good. Nice and chilled on a hot summer day, which it has been around here lately. Yeah, this will do it. I like this. Much needed, much needed. I also think that this would be great. You can turn this into a little wine spritzer too. You get you a little seltzer or some club soda, maybe even depending on how you want to do it, a Sprite or ginger ale. You could turn this into a wine spritzer. All right, so now it's time to go ahead and bring in our special guest, author, poet, Birdman313. What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. I can't
Yeah,
complain.
okay.
How are you
Yeah.
doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing
Y'all,
good.
y'all
Go
still out and
ahead.
about?
No, 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 no. Oh no. I'm not down in Galveston now. No, man. It's bad down there. I
Oh,
mean, it's this storm is getting ready to hit there. It hasn't yet. So we came back. We actually came back Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening.
okay, okay.
Because we knew that when we was down there, when we got up there Sunday, you could tell the difference. You could tell the big difference in the waves and everything. So it was, which we was coming back Sunday anyway, but we could tell the big difference. And I always go out and take pictures and shoot some videos on Sundays, and you could tell that the waves had picked up.
Oh,
So,
so y'all had.
yeah, well, we was gonna come back anyway on Sunday, but it's just that that's how we always plan it. We just go down there and stay Friday and Saturday, and then come back on a Sunday.
Yeah, that was the pictures look nice. Everything looked great.
Yeah, yeah, it was nice. Don't get me wrong. Some of the pictures was taken straight from the hotel room what we stayed in. Because
Okay.
that's why I like that hotel so much because it faces the ocean. All rooms there
Yeah,
faces the ocean.
that's amazing. Yeah, ain't nothing like ocean front, and ain't nothing like
Yeah,
just staring out, looking at the
yeah.
ocean.
And so hey, we're back, and I just been playing around with some videos, and that's about it. And doing a little writing here, but been really doing some meditating and playing my bass guitar a little bit more. I didn't do it today, and getting my exercise in. Just doing all them things and taking care of other little business that popped up, and all of a sudden. So
Hmm. Don't I know? Don't I know? So you said the weather's changing. It's getting ready to storm up there.
yeah, man. I mean, it's let's see what it is. That tropical storm is coming through Arthur, and
Oh,
it's coming. I'm surprised you ain't heard about that. Yeah, it's coming through here. We've been for the last 2 days, man. It's been flooded in the northern part of Houston where we at. We didn't. That's one thing about this area here. Doesn't get flooded. Thank God for that. We don't get flooded. We just got a lot of rain, man. The grass is all almost up to my knees now because we can't cut it.
oh, because it's so wet.
Yes,
That's
yes.
craziness. Well, you better watch. There might be some gators out there if it's up that high.
I ain't worried about that. Ain't enough water for them to come over here.
Gators and snakes might be in there, and I don't like that.
Now, okay, like the snakes, the
No, nope,
raccoons, and the
absolutely not.
possums.
Nah, no, I'm
Now, yeah,
good.
now you talking. Yeah,
S-
yeah,
s-
yeah.
Spiders, yeah, nah, rodents. Nah, I'm good.
Because well, actually, what was that? Last week, a week before last, man, I went, opened the gate because we have our vehicles behind the gate, and I
Hmm.
opened the gate, and I was opening for Diana to pull in because she drove that day, and I keep forgetting, the ants are so bad out here, but you couldn't see them because the grass is so high. I stepped in the grass, man. I had to come out. I had to come out my shoes, man, because it was so many of them, and she ended up had to wash
Oh
my shoes.
man, that
Yeah, because they
many?
got yeah, yeah.
You know what I would have done? I would have went on a
What would
stomp.
you?
I would have went on a stomping spree. I would have ran to the first part of concrete that I possibly could get, and I would have just went stomping up a storm. They wouldn't have
Yeah,
lasted
well,
that long.
well, I did that, and I put a bunch of you know, I put alcohol, man. I bathed in the alcohol because hey, man, they had got me really good. Then they got her the other day, so we had to be
now,
careful stepping in the grass out here.
now let me ask you a question. There's two different types of ants. There's the tiny ones, or is it the big ones? Now, which ones was it?
It, it was the tiny ones.
Oh, well, that's good because them big ones ain't no joke.
Yeah, little black ants. But the
Mm-mm.
I mean, a lot of times you can see the ant beds, but this time I couldn't even see it because, like I said, the grass is so high. I was worried more. I was like, okay, I'm gonna step and put this down so for the gate, and I worry about the mosquitoes because mosquitoes is bad down here too now.
Oh, speaking of mosquitoes, this is interesting. We got we got to move on after this. But did you
Yeah,
know that they are going to release millions of sterile mosquitoes?
yeah,
They say that that is supposed to help the population control of the mosquitoes, the breeding and all of that other stuff. That's cool.
yeah,
You
yeah,
got your little things that you're gonna come up with or whatever. That might sound cool and all. But for
yeah,
us, the human beings that are going to be out there, if we had enough mosquitoes to begin with, what do you think the effect is going to be when you put millions of sterile mosquitoes out there? So we swatting and we get crazy over mosquitoes to begin with. Oh, we're really going to be over it because you don't know what's real and what's fake. Come on
yeah,
now.
Yeah.
That's craziness. Anyway, I don't understand that when I got my own conspiracy theories behind that, but
Yeah.
what number you got for us tonight?
Let me try 99.
Not okay, 99. We went right to it. All right. Wonder if we did this one before. We spoke about IRAs before. Let's see what kind of situation we gonna get in tonight. Make your IRA rollover a direct rollover. You can open an IRA rollover account at any discount brokerage firm or mutual fund company. The paperwork is not hard at all, and a company you decide to do business with is going to be eager to help you move your money. The one crucial step is to check the box on your rollover application for a direct rollover. What this means is that you will never touch the money yourself. With a direct rollover, the discount brokerage or mutual fund company you are going to open your IRA account with will contact your old employer and arrange for the money to be sent directly into your new account. Why go this way? Because if you instead have the money sent to you, you must then get it reinvested in an IRA or other tax deferred retirement account within 60 days. Now we getting into the good stuff. If you fail to do that, you will owe income tax on the entire withdrawal amount and potentially a 10% withdrawal fee as well. Absolutely not. A direct rollover is the only way to go. I know that's right. What do you feel about that, Birdman?
Yeah. I mean that is because a, a lot of the issues you don't have to worry about because you have so much going on in your life that you sometimes some of the things like that you don't have time and you don't think about it until it's too late.
Oh, and then when it's too late, you're gonna be highly upset when you get hit with that tax fee. Mm. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
check this out: you get hit with the tax fee and you don't even realize it, right? Because you missed the 60-day guideline. So then you put the money
Right.
into your IRA or your new IRA, your new tax deferred account, so it's locked up already. Then you sit down and you go and do your tax paperwork in April. And then you get slapped in the face because you realize that you missed the deadline. And now you owe all of this money to the powers that be. And now your money is locked up. So you can't even pay them out of the money that you took out because it's locked up again. So the only way to fix
Yeah.
that is to go ahead and take it out and get hit again. Yeah, that could be a whole situation. Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
We good on that. Be careful, people. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor or a planner. Please do your own due diligence. But yeah, that one was a real message right there. All right. So let's get into tonight's assignment. You ready to go to my home state and good old New Jersey?
Oh
We
yeah.
heading over to Atlantic City, New Jersey. You got to be careful going to AC because the money wasn't missing, but I was. So all right, we're gonna help out Mr. Marcus from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Marcus says, I didn't start gambling because I wanted to get rich. I started because I wanted to feel something different. 2 years ago, my marriage ended. Not dramatically, no affair, no huge fight. We just slowly became strangers living in the same house. After the divorce, the silence in my apartment was loud. I get off of work, eat dinner alone, and stare at the walls. One night, a coworker invited me to the casino. I won a few $100s. For the first time in months, I felt excited. Not happy, excited. There was a difference. Suddenly, I had something to anticipate, somewhere to go, people to be around. Before long, I wasn't going for the entertainment anymore. I was going for escape. Some nights I'd leave ahead, most nights I wouldn't. The problem wasn't the money at first. The problem was the story I kept telling myself. One good night and I'll catch up. One good hit and I'll pay everything off. One good weekend and I'll finally get ahead. Instead, I accumulated credit card debt, drained my emergency fund, and spent months chasing losses that never wanted to be found. Last week, I reviewed my finances. What shocked me wasn't how much money I'd lost, it was how much time I lost. Time I could have spent healing, time I could have spent rebuilding, time I spent looking for relief in places that were never designed to provide it. I'm finally getting honest with myself. The money wasn't the real issue. Loneliness was, grief was, avoidance was. How do you rebuild trust in yourself after you spent years running from what actually hurt? Maurice, what you got for him?
And there's so much contradiction in this.
What you mean?
I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna start at because he said two after 2 years, he didn't have time to think within that 2 year period. That's what lost me right there in some ways. I'm like, well, within 2 years, I mean, I know grief of a marriage can last long, but it shouldn't stung him. Well, I shouldn't say that because I don't know how the guy felt, But 2 years, he should have almost been over it, and I it's hard for me to explain that part.
I
To say to him, "I'm 2 years, man. You couldn't get yourself together."
I
And then he keeps saying it's not the money, but then again, it is. Gambling is an addiction that I don't care if you married, if you happy, if you single, if you happy. Gambling is bad for any and everybody that don't know how to control it.
mm, yeah. The 2 years difference. I would say, see, this is why it's very important to make sure you take time to heal. You can't heal if you're stuck in the past. And I have dealt with several people where we try to move forward in confidence and we have a good conversation, but they keep going backwards and they keep going backwards and they keep reminiscing on the past. So if you stay looking backwards, you can't see where you're going forward. So that's exactly what I get out of this of why in 2 years there was no healing, because when the
Yeah,
time spent alone, what is your mind doing? Is your mind thinking of the future or is it stuck in the past? And it sounds like he was just rehearsing, replaying those same sad broken records over and over and over again.
right. And like I said, gambling, it can be an addiction, and also could be fun. Don't get me wrong, because we we haven't been traveling lately because we've been taking care of a lot of things around the house. But whenever we went, we always took a certain amount. Diana took a certain amount. I said, hey, this is all I'm gonna spend. When that runs out, I don't care how much time I had left, I'm done. And that was the discipline that I had for myself. And one time I got there and we had, I mean, it was like, okay, it was the last day. So I said, oh, I don't mind spending what I have. I mean, but there's been times when I came home with a little change too, but I didn't go crazy over it. You know, I just went to have a good time. If I won, cool. If I lost, it was cool. I went there trying to get rich. And what it sounds like really deep down inside, that's what he's trying to do is get rich.
Mm.
And you can't, man, I don't care. You start gambling, you're not gonna get rich. Not at all.
I'll,
Because you just gonna keep putting money in, and guess what? You're gonna get to a point where you think you're ahead, but you getting ready to lose it all at one time.
I'll tell you that the rich and wealthy people, they don't gamble with their money and they don't go to casinos. I know some people think that investing money in the stock market can be a gamble, but that's their own personal beliefs. But when it comes to actually putting money in a slot machine or at the tables or anything like that,
Yeah.
this is what I think about it.
And that's a wrap on today's.
It's a wrap. It's over. Absolutely not. Game over. No,
Yeah.
we don't do that.
Yeah. I mean, because again, man, don't it, I mean, most people know casinos are it's all set up,
Mm,
and I know when I went, like I said, when we went to Vegas a few times, and my cousin, because one of my cousin, he worked security there for, oh man, 25, 30 years. He was like, hey, cuz, he said, don't get caught up, man. He said, it's all rigged. I said, oh, no, no, no. And I told him how I did it. He said, okay, long you doing it like that, man. He said, it's cool.
they have some of the,
And I'm like,
they have
huh?
some of the best furniture, the best decor. If you go to Vegas, they got the light shows, they got all of the replicas of the Eiffel Tower. They got all kinds.
Yeah.
Who you think paying for that?
The ones that come there and lose their money.
Exactly. Exactly.
But see, when like I said, we went there for more than just gambling. That was always our thing. We took tours. When we went there, it wasn't just to go there to gamble. We went to concerts. We went to comedy shows. We took tours. So we had something to do where we weren't just sitting around listening to the slot machine all night long.
Yeah, that's something else. Mm,
'Cause I mean, like we visit the three of the deserts out there. We took tours. That's what we did. Took the tours to two of them, and then the other one, a friend of mine that's out there, he took us to this one desert, and I got a chance to take some pictures, some videos, and then we came on back. And then, and that's it. Or we go to concerts out there. That's the mostly what we was going there for was really the concerts.
hmm
You know, and then, like I said, we comedy shows, because now I'm good friends with one of the comedians. He was out there for 10 years. He had a residence out there for 10 years. Now he left and he's gone back to California.
Okay.
And me and him, we stay in touch. Actually, we was talking the other night, on Instagram. So, like I said, if you are going there just to gamble, then yes, you're gonna get in trouble because you're gonna lose your money.
Mm. I think that a lot of this, the loneliness, the grief, the avoidance, and you say that money wasn't the real issue. It probably wasn't. You had the money, but you didn't do the right thing with it. So then it did become an issue. Some counseling, some
Yeah.
counseling, some
Well,
counseling. That's what I'm saying.
right. And the fact, to me, it's like, okay, dude, no one sit down, no one or you haven't spoken to anybody about what you should do with your time. Like you said, counseling. Yeah. Now he's a good candidate for getting being counsel because he need to find something else to do besides just going to the casino.
What is that thing where they say the idle mind is the
Terrible thing to waste.
or the devil's workshop or something like that? You ever heard that one?
Yes, yes.
Because
Oh yeah, I heard it all
this
the
is
time.
exactly what it is. You got all this time on your hands. You don't know who you are. And I know that that sounds terrible, but that happens to a lot of people who spend years inside of a relationship, a marriage, and even some friendships that go by the wayside. Once they end, you were so wrapped up and trapped up into that other human being that once you get by yourself, you got all this time and you don't know what to do because you've lost yourself. So you need to find out who you are.
Yes, and you know what? That's why I always say I'm so glad, thank God, that I always fell back on music and writing. What got me was I heard someone say one time. They said, uh, "Find something that you can do that even when you get old and retired, that you can still do it without it costing you."
Mm.
And when they said that, I'm like, okay, then, and I'm like, let me get back into my writing, and then that, and I said, let me get back to listening to my music, And then that's what really kept me afloat was, things like that. And like I said, I've gone to a lot of I've gone to plays. I've gone to a lot of, just gone and sit in a club and listen to spoken word, or watch the play, or listen to people just sit down and talk. And I always found that very helpful for me. Like I said, I found this for me. I know everybody would probably frown up when I say that, because they be like, "Well, that ain't for me." That ain't for me. Yeah, you're right. It's not. But that's what kept me afloat.
Exactly. Yeah. What works for you, and what works for somebody else may not work for you. I agree with that.
Exactly. Exactly. So that, like I said, when people, and I tell let people know that, I'm like, hey, this is what worked for me. I can't say it's gonna work for you, but it worked for me.
Right.
And that's why I'm so into my music. I'm so, a lot of people, hey man, you know a lot about music. How come this, and that? And I said, well, there's a lot of reasons, and the number one thing about music is, if you're not marketable, you can forget about trying to make it. And a lot of people don't realize that you got to be marketable for to really make it. You got to come with something that somebody else is not doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of copycats out there.
Right. And just like, that's why I think there's a lot of people that do like my poetry, because people expect me, being 6'4" and a half black man, they expect me to come up there screaming and hollering. That's not the way it is. And then when I read the poem, they be like, wow, man, he read something that I wouldn't expect.
He said he said come up there screaming and hollering. You know what, that
Yeah,
reminds me so much of, these pastors when they up there preaching. See, you just opened up a box, and I'm gonna shut up after this, but yeah, God didn't have to get up there and scream and yell. Jesus up there and scream and yell. These pastors, they think that the only way that they can get the message across, that you really preach when you're screaming, hollering, and yelling at somebody. Anyway,
yeah,
I'm off it.
yeah. So, but I mean, then he said, it ain't about the money, but then he talked about how his credit cards is all out, out of control, and I'm like, wait a minute, man, you keep saying it's about the money. It is about the money. It is, you keep, because you keep, okay, you drain your emergency fund.
No good.
Spent months chasing losses that never wanted to be found. Credit card debt. That it is about the money, man. Don't you can sit there, and he needs to really, I should say he need to quit fooling himself, because that's all he doing.
Mm.
That's all he doing. I'm not gonna say, I was gonna say he need to keep lying to himself. He needs to keep fooling him. He's fooling himself if it's not about the money.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I say you need to understand and know who you are. Um, Take some time for yourself. That's the problem. You haven't take time for yourself. When you did, you probably were thinking too much of what the past was, what your current situation was. And again, that's no good. When you stay looking behind, you can't
Yeah,
see where you're going. And if
right.
it's tough, again, I'm not here to act like, I'm Superman or anything.
Yeah,
I've been there before, but talk to somebody, get some counseling,
yeah,
phone a friend that you can trust, do something to where you're
right.
not staying stuck on what was, because you'll never get to where the heck you need to go. So, yeah.
That's true. I mean, yeah, I've been through it too. Don't get me wrong, I've been through it. And he said they grew away from each other. So
It sounds like it.
I can't understand.
Yeah,
Huh?
sound like that's an easy transition. At least it wasn't like you saw her cheating or whatever.
Right. That he said they just grew. So if you grew away from each other, what is the problem? Yeah, and then he turned around and said, "Oh, it is him." So I'll be like I said, there was a lot of contradiction in this, and I mean,
Mm,
which I understand because we all do it. I mean, there. Don't get me wrong. There was a period of time, but I'm trying to even think, man. I can't remember when. Oh, I know when my divorce came through, man. I went out with some co-workers. We went to this club. We went to this bar, this restaurant rather. I sit up there, man, and they was like, "You all right?" I said, "I'm fine." I said, "I'm a free man." And they were like, "Oh, okay, then we know that." I'm like, "I'm fine." I didn't sit back and dwell.
listen, I did the same thing, and that was one of the worst nights ever. I came back getting sick all over the place. There was this song back in the day. I don't know who sung it, but um, I forgot what he was saying. It was this Jamaican joint where it was Red Bull. I don't know what he was saying. I'm drinking rum and Red Bull. Remember that joint? I don't know, but anyway, that was hot back in the day. Man, I
uh,
kept that song came on and I went up to the bar and ordered I'm drinking rum and Red Bull. Yeah, that was no good.
oh,
No good.
yeah. Well, don't feel bad because when I went out, I did have me some food though. I ordered me some food. I had brandy. That's what I was. Man, I was hitting that brandy, man. And I was like I said, I got drunk. I went home, slept well, got up, went to work the next day. They looked at me. They said, "You all right?" I said, "I'm fine." They said, and then the supervisor, she said, "Yep, he okay." I said, "Hey," I said, "I already knew this was coming, so it didn't." I said, "I'm not letting it bother me."
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look that up. I gotta look up that song. Um
Yeah,
while I'm looking that up, go ahead and let people know what you got going on this week.
You know what? This month, next month, I'm just taking it real light. I'm like taking it real light. I'm gonna still write a little bit. That's something I try not to do. I try to stay away because I want to get something new going. I always continue to write something somewhere and just be working on some videos. My books, of course, is at amazon.com/authors/birdman313. Videos on Spotify, Coffee, Wine, and Words platform. You can also go to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/author poet birdman 31355. You can find me on Instagram where I've been posting pictures. I'm gonna start posting a few videos this week of the trip down there, but the videos I post is they're not gonna have no poem to that. It's just the video, but I am putting something together, because I did write about one area, that was Sunday, but I am gonna do that. So that's about it.
That's what's up. I appreciate you for joining. As always, you
Yeah.
do a great job adding your insight. And yeah, we're gonna have to get out of here. We gotta pay some bills. I looked up the song. It was Rum and Red Bull, Beanie Man. Yeah,
Um.
it's in 2006. I knew about the song, but I celebrated it in 2013. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, have you ever heard Wayman Tisdale?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna
Okay.
look it up.
Okay. He played jazz, a little bluesy jazz. He used to play in the NBA.
I seen that. I
He was a
see
good.
that.
Hey,
Yeah.
he played it. He was a good player. He was a good player, and the whole time he was playing his music while he was playing basketball. He would, on his off days, he would go to a studio. He had got him a studio, man, but he kept it all in the family. Well, he passed
Yeah, I
away not
see that.
a
I
few
see
years
that.
ago, and but his brother. It's funny because his older brother was at Oklahoma when he was. His brother was his agent. His sister was his accountant, and I think it was another family member that had something to do with. He kept it in the family, and there never was no discrepancy about his money.
See. Mm-hmm. That's how you do it. You got to know, make sure
You
you.
know, and he but no, listen to him, man. He has some good music because you'll sit back and you'll say, oh, he's an ex-athlete. You wouldn't think his music is that good, but the brother can play the bass, man. He can play that bass guitar, and his music is so smooth.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, I see it. He got a good discography. He wasn't playing around. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that much. I see all them
right.
albums. All right, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah,
All right. Well, it is a wrap. I appreciate it. It's time to get on up out of here. And listen, I'm gonna go have me some rice and beans and take it on down. Some Spanish rice and beans. I
yeah,
appreciate that right about now.
yeah. I might get on another podcast later. I haven't been there in a long time. It's just there was some things, and a lot of people just stopped going there because there was some things that was promised that they just couldn't fulfill. So
Mm,
but I'm still cool. Man, me and her still cool. I understand. You know, that she promised to bring some of the people that she knew that like myself, like other people that did things, but it's always just the people from Hollywood. So a lot of people that used to follow her, when they realized they weren't gonna get a shot at being on her podcast as a guest, they just moved
you
on.
know you can't compete with Hollywood, but that's
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Take care.
Oh, good night. Good night.
Hey, did you get my book?
I haven't checked yet, but I will. I'll let you
Okay.
know.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Take care now.
Yeah, you too.
Good night. Good night. Good night, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining in. Tune in next week. I appreciate y'all for hanging in there with us tonight. Take care now.